Welcome to Eat Well, Be Happy. I'm Deborah.
I'm Alyssa.
And we're going to be making 3 great dishes for you today. We're going to be making a snappy chicken with a tofu version.
Yeah.
And you're going to be making
A spring roasted potato salad.
Yum, yum. And then because both of those things are sort of meaty, I'll say, we're going to be making a spring salad with radishes and watercress and avocados.
Excellent.
So we're going to get the chicken into the oven first. And snappy chicken, it's been too long since I made that, and I forgot to take the ginger out of the freezer.
What was the ginger doing in the freezer?
I keep my ginger in the freezer because then I don't worry about it molding or spoiling, and I have it whenever I need it, except of course when I need it now and it's still frozen. So you want to take it out about 5 minutes before you need it, and then you cut it. But since I couldn't do that this time, we're going to be using ginger powder instead. So I have already, the chicken is already marinated because you want to use about 2.5 pounds of chicken, and I've chosen chicken wings, but you want to marinate them for overnight or 2 hours. And so I marinated those last night, and so we'll put those in the oven together with the tofu, but I wanted to show you how to make the marinade, and so we're going to use tofu for that. So I am going to be, for our marinade, using about 5 cloves of garlic.
I like it already.
Yeah. We all love garlic.
You do.
All right, so we're going to just squeeze. And we like garlic because it keeps us healthier and makes things taste great.
Keeps the vampires away.
Absolutely. And we need that.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen any vampires around the neighborhood
See?
lately, but
It's working.
all right, so we're going to use about 5 cloves of garlic and about a quarter or half a teaspoon of cayenne. This is probably about a quarter because I wasn't sure. Oh, it's not coming out.
The spoon?
Yeah, I wasn't sure how much people would like. And then we're going to use about a quarter of a cup of soy sauce. And I say soy sauce and I say tamari, and I use them interchangeably.
What's the difference?
But I think tamari is the traditional way where it's aged in wooden barrels for a number of years, and I think soy sauce, the soy sauce we think of in this country is processed with chemically, so that it becomes fermented like in 48 hours or something. So this one has been fermented for 3 years or 4 years. And
Can I ask you a question?
you can. I don't know the answer, but go ahead.
Why is it gluten-free sometimes and not other times? What about soy sauce has gluten?
It's the wheat alcohol that they process the soybeans with it, that they soak it with. And so these guys have chosen to be gluten-free to not only appeal to the gluten-free market, but that's what they do. So they're using soybeans, and they're using a distilled sake, which is a rice wine vinegar. So that's what makes that one a little bit different. And then we're going to use a toasted sesame oil.
Yum.
And toasted sesame oil is different than regular sesame oil because it's toasted, and it has that nice strong flavor. So we're going to use about a third of a cup of toasted sesame oil.
Do you want me to whisk it?
Yes.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet?
Not
Okay.
yet. And then we were going to use about 2 tablespoons of a fresh chopped ginger. So we'll use about a teaspoon, would you say, of dry ginger?
Yeah, much stronger
Okay.
flavor.
So if you want to use the spoon now or something like that, go right ahead.
It smells delicious.
Yeah, it does. It has this lovely fragrant smell to it. So I'm just going to check my ingredients. Oh, and the rice wine vinegar, that's the last thing. So a rice wine, we're keeping in an Oriental theme here.
Yes.
And it's very interesting how in the Orient they use rice to ferment things, and rather than wheat, as we tend to in this country. So I'm using about 1/8 of a cup of a rice wine vinegar.
Such a nice dark color.
Yep. And that's what went on the chicken. And now instead of chicken, we're going to use our tofu here. So I'm just going to slice that. And this, as you can see, is a very firm, sort of meaty tofu. If you're using a tofu that has a lot of water, you just put something heavy on it and the water comes right out. I can't remember which way I was cutting it.
This is
So
really firm. So
it's a
it'll
very
hold the
firm
marinade
tofu.
really
Yeah.
nicely.
And the nice thing about the tofu that we're using also, it's not only organic, but it's GMO free. And I look for organic because to me that means GMO free. But they say that 98%, I think, of the soy in this country has been genetically modified.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a very high number.
proportion, higher than any other food.
Wow.
All right, so we're just gonna do that. And then we're gonna put that, ideally this would sit overnight in the refrigerator or 2 hours on the counter to absorb it, but I guess that makes sense too, doesn't it? But we're just gonna put this into the oven now, 475-degree oven for about 30-40 minutes.
For chicken and tofu?
That's what we're gonna see.
Oh,
I know
okay.
it works for chicken, but we'll find out for tofu.
Excellent.
So I'll put this in the oven and then you can, oh my gosh. Here we go.
Cleared up a little bit.
Yep.
And I guess this is our handy dandy washer. All right. We'll wait for Deborah.
You don't have to wait for Deborah, she's coming.
Okay, we're gonna make a spring roasted potato salad. It's called spring because it's trying to evoke, you know, the freshness, the brightness of flowers and oh hi, come on in, and and all of the nice, you know, brightness of spring. So we have started. Let me move all my stuff over. Maybe you could help me with that. I did this ahead of time, just in the interest of saving a little time. So these are red potatoes, little red potatoes. These are actually larger than the ones I would like to use because if you use little ones, the little new potatoes, you can just slice them in half. And what I like to do is I like to put some olive oil on a sheet pan and then salt as well, and sometimes some sage or whatever herbs look nice, or pepper. Oh yeah, pepper. I always forget pepper for some reason. And then I like to have the potatoes face down in the oil so they get this nice brownness on them. And so if you can cut them in half, then you just have like one side that's nice and brown, and then it's delicious. But these were giant. And I just wanted to point out a couple of things. You can do this with any kind of potato. So for example, if you're having like a 4th of July barbecue, you can use red potatoes, white potatoes, and purple potatoes. And you can use fingerlings, you can use anything you want, and it works just as well. And but today we had these lovely red potatoes. So they are roasted, and I'd say it was about 400 degrees, and it was about 30 to 45 minutes.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and the way that I can tell they're ready is they don't stick to the pan anymore. And if you turn them over, they have that nice brown color that you can see. So those are our taters, and I'm going to actually.
You want to mix in here?
I want to mix in that bowl. That's what I'm going to mix in. Move this over a tiny bit. So we're going to make a little dressing first. And there's 2 ways to do this. You can put the dressing over the warm potatoes and let it infuse.
Which I love.
Yeah, that's nice. But sometimes it takes away from the crunchiness of the potatoes, so it's up to you. You can do it any way you want. And another variation is, you know, now that we like to use a lot of greens and kale and so forth, you can throw the potatoes over some chopped kale, and then you have like wilted kale in the salad. I always try to throw it in when my family's not looking. So that's that. So anyway, we're just going to make a simple dressing, which is really very easy to do. So about a teaspoon of salt. I'm a little shy on pepper, so I'll use like a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm sorry. I know everybody loves it, but I don't. And I love mustard powder, so we're going to use like a heaping teaspoon of that. Not a fan?
No, I'm saying I'm shy on mustard powder.
Really?
So, yeah,
Oh,
but I
okay,
love
so-
black pepper.
So yeah, it's like you can really make this any way you want.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all about not measuring, you and I. I think we have that in common. We like to just like combine nice ingredients.
Right.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, and combining ingredients that we don't necessarily agree on, too.
Yes.
That's why
yes.
there's chocolate ice cream and vanilla ice cream,
That's
and it's
true.
all good.
Although I don't understand why anybody would choose vanilla, but that's another time.
And I choose vanilla. They say if you want to know whether an ice cream is really good quality, you can
That's
tell it
true.
with vanilla.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
To each his own. Okay, so I'm going to zest this lemon, and the thing you need to be careful of is to not get down to the white pith, because that's very, very bitter. So you have to just zest kind of carefully. And you just want like the top layer. So you just see, there it is, the white stuff. I remember when I was a kid, my sister and I would try to bake things, and one day we decided we were going to make a cheesecake. And it was beautiful. It came out so perfect, like you would see in a magazine. And then we ate it, and it was so bitter because had never zested a lemon before. But there it was, the pith, and it ruined the whole thing. So I learned my lesson at a very young age, never to let that happen again. So I think I'm only going to use, this was a very zesty lemon, so I think I'm
Very
just going to
zesty.
use one. That should just about do it.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to attempt to use Deborah's brand new lemon squeezer. Am I doing this right? What?
No.
How about you do it?
You're assuming that I know how to. I think
Oh,
no, maybe you're right. Maybe it's that way. And then you just squeeze it, I
oh,
think.
and all the pits get stuck in there, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, look at that.
It looks very easy when they do it on television. Yeah. No, I'm still using my mother's old-fashioned squeezer, even though I bought this one and I was looking forward to it. But,
I still use a fork, but anyway, this is more fun.
all right. So my hands are wet. They don't want to grab. So how much? You want both
yeah,
lemons?
both lemons.
Okay.
I like a zesty dressing.
Okay. So you cut the other one for me and I'll zest it for you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant both lemon halves.
Okay.
Yeah, so that
All
should
right.
probably be good. Because we don't have that many taters.
In the meantime, I'm going to wipe the lemon juice on my hands.
What does that do?
Because it's supposed to actually lessen age spots.
Cool.
But you have to do it every day. And I haven't been consistent, but I do pat it on the age spots.
Do you know what I know about lemons?
What?
I sometimes have very rough elbows. If you take the lemons that have no more juice in them and you go like this, and you walk around for a while, it really softens your elbows.
So lemons
There
are
you go.
great for the skin. Yep.
And we're learning all sorts of things today. Can I have the olive oil, please? Mm-hmm. So again, I'm not a big measurer, but so we probably have about 1/4 cup in there.
I'd
would you
say that, yep.
So we're gonna have twice as much olive oil, so about 1/2 cup. And I didn't mean to pour that in as quickly as I just did, but.
Yeah, somebody took out the stopper.
Ah, okay. So that's probably good.
Looks
Might be.
great.
I'm gonna pour that over the taters. Where's my red onion? Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Actually, I'm gonna wait before I do that. I'm gonna do the red onion. So this is a very large one. We're gonna use half. And for this dish, you want a very small dice. I want a very small dice, I should say. You might want a big one.
Oh, I like small dice too. I just am too lazy to cut it that way. And I must say my skin is now tingling.
Oh, maybe
So
it's working.
The lemon is working.
So if you want a small dice, if you leave the root of the red onion on, it helps you control it. It holds it together. And then you can go 1, 2, not going all the way through. Okay, and then down, 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 down. Whoops, that was a little uneven.
Very
and
good
then,
trick.
And then like this. And there it is, your small dice. This is a very large onion. It doesn't work as well with a,
But still,
but still, then
it's
you get
so
a
much
nice,
better than the technique I have, which is just to hack at it.
and then you get the root. So that's just if you wanted a small dice. So that's a lot of onion. Okay, so already we're getting some nice colors in there. And I'm just gonna move this out of the way. And what have I forgotten? Oh, my parsley. So this is a whole head of washed parsley. And this really is, this another element of the spring in it. I love the colors in this are wonderful. And as I said, you can use, you can add spinach, you can add kale, what else? Anything you have. My new thing is I'm like in love with roasted Brussels sprouts, so I would throw those in the salad. Much to my husband's chagrin, I think he's tired of them, but I think we have them every night. And cauliflower, roasted cauliflower. I'll throw anything in my potato salad. Anything you have.
I like it too. And I love the fact that parsley is so rich in chlorophyll, which is the blood of the plant vegetables, of the plant kingdom. And chlorophyll is just wonderful for detoxing and it's an internal deodorizer. So it's just, if one has iron poor blood, nothing is better than chlorophyll.
Excellent. And it just happens to taste good too.
It does.
And smell good too.
It smells great.
That's a lot of parsley. but whatever. Okay, so a little mess here. I know you want me to put that in, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I knew that. Okay, so we have parsley, red onion, and potatoes. And I have feta cheese, which is the Organic Valley, is this cow?
It's cow.
Cow feta cheese. And it's crumpled. So this is a whole block, so it's about 8 ounces. I'm going to throw that in as well. And then I'm going to mix it. I have one more ingredient, but I don't want them to get all crumpled. So I like it. Not everybody likes to add this, but I like it. It's sort of like when you have sushi and you have tobiko on top. It gives it a little pop in your mouth. So these are frozen peas. It's a small bag of frozen peas that have been defrosted but not cooked. And I'm going to throw them in now and give it a very gentle toss so they don't break. And then I'm going to throw in the dressing.
Well, that looks so good, Alyssa.
There you go. Toss the dressing.
You want a spoon?
Oh, I don't know, do I?
Probably.
Sure, okay. I'd be more civilized.
So you're getting it ready for serving.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looks really pretty. Looks like you could put it out at a dinner party.
Why not? Or a barbecue with some nice free-range meat. And there it is, spring roasted potato salad. Let me clean this
So-
off for you.
We're on to our third dish. And the washcloth we're using, or the rag, is a hemp washcloth, and I really love it. I have fallen in love with hemp. It doesn't grow mold, it doesn't get mildewy, it doesn't grow bacteria, and it's just, and I run it through my dishwasher
Really?
in between, so I really love it. So we are going to need the food processor for this one.
this in the compost.
But this salad it's really simple, and again, the colors will pop when we're done. And I'm going to ask Alyssa to sort of help me cut things as we go along here too. So we're going to be using 3 avocados and 3 carrots and about 2 cups of radishes, which we're going to slice, and about 6 cloves of garlic. So I'm going to grate the carrots first, and then
Oh, I just wanted to make sure it was working.
yeah. And all I've done with the carrots is I've scrubbed them with a brush. I haven't peeled them. I've cut off the ends. And again, I just don't want to peel them because that's where all the vitamins are. And I also, who has the time? So that's my personal philosophy. Don't peel, don't waste, and
Shall we
save
switch?
some time. So this almost seems a shame to use the food processor for 3 carrots, but all right. So there are carrots, voila. We'll just put them into the salad bowl. If you want to pop those in there. And how would you feel about slicing the radishes while
I feel great about it.
Okay, so radishes are really rich in silica, which is good for hair, skin, and nails. And I always think of radishes too as being a dieter's friend because a whole cup has like 9 calories.
Wow.
So not only are you getting
9?
crunch, but you're getting, you know, the silica, and you're getting almost no calories, which is good because we're going to be putting a lot of calories in with the obligados, as my grandmother used to say.
How do you want them
So-
sliced?
Let's just cut off the little tips, and then we can just cut them in rounds, or if you
Rounds.
prefer, we can do them in half and then in moons. So either way is fine.
I'm going to go with the moons. I like to have a flat surface when I
Okay. And in the meantime, I will put in the garlic. So this is a salad that I like to make a lot in the summertime, and in the summertime when I have a lot of zucchini in the garden, I'm looking for my little knife, which I have just lost.
cut. Is it this one?
No. No, you didn't steal my knife.
I see you've started your plants inside already.
I have most of them outside.
You do?
I put all but that one shelf out yesterday.
Wow. What are you going to do if it frosts?
I will replant, or I have all my tomato plants under a grow cover out there.
Oh.
I put out, I think, 20 tomato plants yesterday,
Wow.
and I put them under a grow cover.
That's
They
amazing.
were getting so big for their pots inside that I couldn't keep them in any longer. So, carrots, we've shredded them. The peel is there, and we had that extra beta-carotene and the extra fiber, and the garlock, which is...
But you would not leave that peel on if they weren't organic, would you?
No, I wouldn't. But I also wouldn't stress about it. If I were at somebody's house or a restaurant and they served me a non-organic carrot and it wasn't peeled, I wouldn't worry about it, because I really think that it's, you know, the stress is kind of undoes the good work of organic.
Yep.
So, all right.
makes
So we're
sense.
going to put in 3 avocados.
Love them. So what do avocados do for you? Because they're delicious.
Well, I'm always surprised that avocados are so nutrient rich. They have a lot of calcium, which I didn't know until recently. They have a lot of protein. Their fat is one of the healthiest fats known to man or woman. So good for hair, skin, and nails, and good for our joints. And Roxanne has a really nice way of cutting avocados that I do not. So I'm doing it
The old-fashioned way.
the old-fashioned way, the way I learned growing up.
The thing about avocados that I always have to remember is if you want to use them, you need to know in advance, because
Yes.
it's so hard to find a ripe avocado on
Right.
the fly. If you ever want to make guacamole, you better think about it 3 days ahead of time.
That's true. And the other thing is you want to use a Hass avocado, Hass rather than the Florida variety. The Florida variety are pretty watery, and the Hass are nice. You can see they have a dark skin, and they're really nice and fatty. But the fat in avocados is a good fat. Oh, has a little bit of bad pieces there. I think I'll leave that one. See if we can get another perfect one.
What is the good fat in it? Is it a specific name for it, or?
Well, it has all the omegas in some sort of proportion, but certainly it's a good plant source of omega-3s. We get our omega-3s mainly from fish oil, but we do get some from avocados too. But mainly,
Yes.
the reason I use avocados is I just can't get over the taste.
Oh, it really is
Yeah.
amazing.
I like sometimes, and I didn't do it today, but another thing to do is to add a daikon radish. So you would grate the daikon radish just like you would grate the carrot. And daikon radish, like other radishes, are very high in sulfur. So that is, again, it's not like sulfa drugs, but a sulfur that is healthy for us and healthy for joints, etc. All right, so now I'm going to just rinse my hands so that they don't slip all over.
Look at the colors we've created.
So far.
It's just amazing what colors you can get out of vegetables. You don't realize it. I mean, you eat with your eyes first, and this is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So,
And since it's been a long time since I've made the salad, I'm just going to check and see.
Sure.
So we have in there, we've grated 3 carrots, and they were sort of small. If they were big, then you would do 2.
okay.
We've got our bunch of radishes in there. We've got our avocados. So now we're going to be putting in watercress. And you could use parsley or you could use dill. We've got our garlic, and we're going to put in a little olive oil and a little salt and pepper.
All right.
Now this is a living watercress,
Ooh.
which keeps a lot longer, and it comes with a root ball. So it's kind of neat. And this is Grower Pete's, and I actually met Pete out in
Oh, did you?
California, and he's a character.
I'm not surprised.
But you can see that it has this root ball on there so
Wow.
that it lasts longer. And watercress is spicy, and it's very, it's peppery. It has
Yeah.
So usually what you do is you just sort of pull the leaves off and put them into your salad.
Okay.
And
You want me to do that while you make the dressing?
yeah, well, we can just get them off together.
Okay.
So watercress, again, is because of its dark green content or its color,
Yeah.
is very high in iron. And it's a very cleansing vegetable too. So when you eat watercress, you usually know the next day. You usually feel, I'll say, a little lighter.
Really?
And
I never knew that. Wow.
So I always think of watercress as something that's good to eat when you've overindulged. So if you've had too much to eat or drink, then watercress
know.
will really
I never
help.
do that, but
No, I know. Neither do I. So some bunches, some stems I'm throwing in, and some leaves I'm pulling off, and we'll just sort of do it like that.
it's beautiful.
But there wasn't a single tossed salad that I ate growing up that my mother didn't put a bunch of watercress in, and as a child, I did not like it. I just
It is
found
a very
too
strong
peppery.
flavor for a
Yeah,
kid.
it is. So some stems we're leaving in, and some
Yeah.
we're not. And you can, this is the most time-consuming part of the whole.
I wanna
Hello,
taste the
rabbit.
stem.
Spicy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like onions and everything else. Some bunches are spicier than others.
It's good.
All right, this is very leggy watercress. Very few leaves and lots of legs. So obviously we want many more leaves than legs, but this we'll put in the compost bucket
Okay.
and we'll put it out in the garden.
Alrighty.
So the only other thing that I'm going to add to this will be olive oil and a little salt and pepper. So I'm not afraid, but actually instead of pepper, let me use Grains of Paradise, which I love.
Okay.
So Grains of Paradise is like a pepper substance, but it has its own, my hands are wet,
Want me to do it?
yeah, its own personality.
What does it taste like?
Well, put it in your hand and taste it and see what you think. It's a little different.
It's a little spicier than pepper. Mm-hmm. Does it have some like juniper in it or something like that?
It is its own thing.
Oh.
But it does taste as if it has that. So
That's
it's a
probably enough,
pepper-like
right?
substance, but different. And salt. So we'll put in about a teaspoon of salt. And we'll put in a nice glug of olive oil. So usually about 2 tablespoons, but you can do more. And I think I've just done that about double.
It's hard to control. isn't
Yeah.
it?
And I'm seeing the garlic in clumps, and I'm trying to declump it.
That's pretty.
It's very pretty. And I like it also because it adds a different sort of textural element. So it gives us sort of a light, airy to the hearty carrots and the tough radishes.
Yeah.
Do you want to taste that
You
and tell
bet
me
I
whether you
do.
think it has enough salt and enough oil?
Here we go. Perfect.
Perfect? Okay. And we used radishes that were different colors too. So
did.
we used some white radishes, red radishes, purple radishes, which is kind of nice as well.
It's delicious.
Good.
Garlic is perfect.
All right. So now let's check the tofu, snappy
Okay.
tofu and snappy chicken wings. And all right. Oof.
Oh, they smell so good.
Okay.
All
So
right.
here comes our snappy tofu,
I'll get the chicken.
and right on top of the oven. I've got
Oh,
one.
okay. Here we go.
So we want to.
Oh, that smells delightful.
We're not cleaning up for you because we're running a little long this time. But you can see we have a snappy chicken, a snappy tofu, a roasted potato salad, and
I don't know what you call
just
that.
say all the ingredients.
Beautiful radish, avocado, carrot, and what are those things called again?
Watercress.
Watercress salad.
So there you have
Delightful.
it, guys. We love you. We hope you love us too. And tell us.